And from Europe to the Middle East, where now Israel has been expanding its offensive against Hamas in the Gaza Strip. The Biden administration is becoming increasingly frustrated with the Netanyahu government. And the Israeli prime minister, too, has both turned a deaf ear and a blind eye to Washington's pleas. In the latest, Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to defy President Biden's red line on Rafah. He says he intends to press ahead with an invasion of the city. Now, earlier, U.S. President Joe Biden had warned the Netanyahu government against such an offensive, saying that he could not accept 30,000 more dead Palestinians. Netanyahu also rejected President Biden's comment that his approach to the war in Gaza is hurting Israel more than helping Israel. This has been the latest in escalation in the dispute between the two world leaders. The United Nations and aid agencies have warned that an attack on Rafah on the border with Egypt would result in widespread civilian casualties and would be a humanitarian catastrophe. Rafah on the Egypt border currently houses millions of displaced Palestinians. And the Muslim holy month of Ramadan begins today with no truce in sight. Now, Hamas blamed Israel for the failure of reaching a truce by not committing to clear guarantees during negotiations. Hamas stuck to 5 key conditions during talks, which were a total ceasefire and end to the war, a full withdrawal of Israeli troops from Gaza, return of the displaced Gazans to their homes, and end to the Israeli siege and securing humanitarian and reconstruction aid, and a prisoner hostage swap deal.
Today, I say that if we receive from the brothers, the mediators, a clear position from the occupation regarding its commitment to withdrawal, cessation of aggression, and the return of refugees, we are ready to proceed with completing the stage of this agreement. We will also express, as we have said before, flexibility regarding the issue of exchange and prisoners. Until now, the enemy has been evading giving clear assurances and commitments, especially regarding the ceasefire, meaning the cessation of aggressive warfare on the Gaza Strip. This means they want their prisoners to return and then resume the war on our people and our enclave.
Aid groups say only a fraction of supplies required to meet basic needs have been allowed into Gaza.
I think this Ramadan will add to the tragedies of the Palestinian people, a new tragedy and a new torment, because the children or the elderly who fast need to eat when they break their fast, which is not available financially or otherwise. The situation is very difficult.
I came here to buy, but I can't find anything to buy. There's nothing. There are no dates or milk or anything. One can't find anything for their children. How are we supposed to have suhoor, the meal before the fast starts at dawn? How are we supposed to have iftar, the meal that breaks the fast, with canned goods?
Now, a Spanish charity ship with 200 tons of food aid to alleviate starvation has remained docked in Cyprus due to technical difficulties. Israel said the aid will be allowed into Gaza after it undergoes a full inspection by its forces.
Based on the instructions of the defense minister and together with our partners in the United States and the American Central Command, we are cooperating the establishment of a temporary floating naval dock intended to bring humanitarian aid into Gaza after it undergoes full Israeli inspection. This mission is a cooperation between Israeli Army and United States Central Command. We will distribute the equipment through international organizations to populations in need.
Meanwhile, fighting continues to rage between Israeli forces and Hamas fighters. In its latest operational update, Israel's military claims it struck terrorist operatives who endangered their forces in central Gaza. The Israeli army claims to have eliminated 15 terrorists in the battle. Already over 31,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza since October. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said there are at least 13,000 terrorists who were among the Palestinians killed. Now, Hamas has dismissed Israel's definition of what it calls terrorists. It says it's a manipulation and an attempt to portray what it calls a fake victory. From impeachments to inaugurations, if it's a political story, we are on the scene. The race for the White House is heating up.
We're beating Biden.
How dare he say that?
If it's breaking news, we're live with the latest coverage. From the White House, the State Department, and Capitol Hill, we know the issues, but above all, we know the players to bring you the latest in-depth analysis on all the key stories that we're covering. I'm Eric Ham. Join me from Washington here on Firstpost America.